Bodybuilders who died of kidney failure. Number 1. Andreas Munzer. Andreas Munzer was an Austrian professional bodybuilder and one of the most conditioned athletes the sport has ever seen. His physique was almost inhuman. Paper-thin skin, veins everywhere, zero body fat visible to the naked eye. But that extreme conditioning came at a devastating price. In 1996, Andreas was rushed to hospital with severe abdominal pain. His liver had collapsed. His kidneys had shut down. His body, pushed beyond every biological limit, was failing from the inside out. He died on March 14, 1996. He was just 31 years old. The autopsy that followed shocked the entire bodybuilding world. Doctors found traces of nearly 20 different drugs in his system. His body fat at the time of death was recorded at almost 0%. His organs had essentially been slowly destroyed over years of extreme drug use and radical dieting. Andreas Munzer did not die in one moment. His body had been breaking down for years. He just never stopped pushing. Number 2, Nasser El Sonbati. If you watched the Mr. Olympia in the 1990s, you know this name. Nasser El Sonbati was one of the most complete bodybuilders of his generation. Massive, conditioned, intelligent. He spoke 7 languages and held a university degree. He came agonizingly close to winning the Olympia title multiple times. Many fans and many experts believed he was robbed of the crown on more than one occasion, but the title was never his, and neither was enough time. In March 2013, Nasser El Sonbati passed away from kidney failure and heart complications. He was 47 years old. A man who had dedicated his entire life to building the greatest physique possible died before he reached 50. The professor, as he was known, deserved better from the sport he gave everything to. Number 3, Sergio Oliva. 3 consecutive Mr. Olympia titles. A physique so extraordinary that Arnold Schwarzenegger himself admitted feeling small standing next to him. Sergio Oliva was not just a bodybuilder. He was a legend, a myth, literally. His famous pose was called the Myth because people could not believe what they were seeing was real. Born in Cuba, Sergio defected to the United States and built one of the most iconic physiques in the history of the sport. But in his later years, Sergio's health deteriorated significantly. He was placed on dialysis treatment as his kidneys began to fail. He fought through it for as long as he could. On November 12, 2012, Sergio Oliva passed away from kidney failure. He was 71 years old. The Myth lived a full life, but the sport he loved had taken its toll on his body long before the end came. Number 4, Paul Grant. Paul Grant came from the golden era of bodybuilding. He trained alongside legends, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, the greatest names the sport has ever produced. He had the work ethic. He had the dedication. He had everything it takes. But at just 30 years old, Paul Grant received a diagnosis that changed everything. Serious kidney disease. The damage was so severe that it began affecting his eyesight. For years, Paul spent 3 days every single week, 8 hours each day, attached to a dialysis machine just to stay alive. Think about that for a moment. 8 hours, 3 days a week, every week, for years. Paul Grant passed away on November 23, 2003. He was 60 years old. He fought longer and harder than most people could imagine. But the kidneys that had been slowly destroyed over a lifetime in the sport never recovered. Number 5 died in one of the most preventable ways possible, and it makes this story even harder to hear. Number 5, Ray Menser. Ray Menser was the younger brother of Mike Menser, one of the most brilliant minds bodybuilding has ever seen. Ray followed his brother into the sport and built an impressive career of his own. The Menser brothers were a dynasty in bodybuilding, 2 men who believed in training smarter, not just harder. In 1999, Ray discovered he had serious kidney problems. He was placed on dialysis. His body was struggling, but Ray Menser, like every bodybuilder on this list, had spent his life pushing through pain. He missed a dialysis treatment. That single missed session triggered a cascade of complications his body could not survive. Ray Menser died from kidney failure as a direct result of missing that dialysis appointment. He was 47 years old. His brother Mike passed away just 2 days later. 2 brothers, gone within 48 hours of each other. The next name on this list was only 30 years old, and most people in bodybuilding have never even heard of him. Number 6, Scott Klein. Scott Klein was not a household name in professional bodybuilding. He was a 4-time NPC heavyweight competitor, someone who dedicated years of his life to the sport at a serious competitive level. He was building something, a career, a physique, a future. Scott Klein died from kidney failure in 2003. He was 30 years old. 30, the same age most people are just getting started in life. No famous title, no Olympia stage, just a young man who loved the sport and paid the highest possible price for it. But the next story shows that even champions, even decorated winners, you're not protected from this. Number 7, Noi Marshadi Wood. 6 Australian Bodybuilding Championship titles. Luke Wood was not just a competitor, he was a dominant force in Australian bodybuilding. 6 national titles is a career that most athletes spend their entire lives chasing and never reach. But behind the trophies, Luke's kidneys were failing. He underwent kidney transplant surgery, a procedure that was supposed to give him a second chance. Luke Wood died on August 31st, 2011, 11 days after the transplant. His body had been through too much. Even a new kidney could not undo the damage that had already been done. 6 national titles, and gone at an age where most champions are still competing. Number 8 did not even make it to a hospital bed. His body gave out without any warning at all. Number 8, John Riggins. John Riggins was well known on the bodybuilding circuit. That spectacularly muscular physique had earned him fans across the sport. He was recognized, respected, someone people stopped to watch when he walked into a gym. Then one day, John collapsed at Penn Station in New York City. No warning, no time to react. By the time emergency services got him to the hospital, John Riggins was already gone. His kidneys had failed completely. There was no transplant, no dialysis, no second chance. He died where he fell. The next bodybuilder on this list spent years fighting, training others, building a legacy, all while his kidneys were slowly giving out. Number 9, Lawrence Marshall. Lawrence Marshall was not just a bodybuilder, he was a builder of bodybuilders. Known as the trainer of trainers, Lawrence dedicated his career not only to competing, but to developing other athletes. His knowledge, his experience, his passion for the sport, he poured all of it into the people he coached. He was a legend in every sense of the word. But kidney problems have been quietly building in the background for years. Lawrence Marshall passed away from kidney failure at the age of 58, a man who gave the sport everything, his body, his time, his knowledge, and the sport took everything in return. Number 10 fought kidney disease for years, and when the end came, it came suddenly. Number 10, Phil Hernon. Phil Hernon was an IFBB professional bodybuilder who spent years dealing with serious health complications. He had been on dialysis for an extended period. He needed a kidney transplant. He was fighting the way bodybuilders always fight, with everything he had, and then his condition declined rapidly. Phil Hernon passed away at the age of 55. Years of struggling, years of dialysis, years of hoping for a transplant that never came in time. 55 years old, gone. The next name on this list was beaten Flex Wheeler early in his career, and most people have no idea who he is. Number 11, Robert Rothrock. Robert Louis Rothrock may not be a name you recognize immediately, but early in his career, he beat Flex Wheeler in competition, the same Flex Wheeler that Arnold Schwarzenegger called the most genetically gifted bodybuilder he had ever seen. Robert Rothrock beat him. That tells you everything you need to know about the level this man competed at. He passed away on June 25, 2022, due to kidney failure. He was 59 years old, a man capable of beating one of the greatest physiques in history, and the sport still took him too soon. Number 12's story is different from everyone else on this list because his kidneys were not destroyed by training. They were destroyed by something injected directly into his muscles. Number 12, Muhammad Asal Jabouri. Muhammad Asal Jabouri was an Iraqi bodybuilder whose story stands as one of the most tragic warnings in the sport. His kidneys did not fail because of years of steroid cycles or extreme dieting. They failed because of site enhancement oils, substances injected directly into muscle tissue to artificially inflate size. Those oils worked their way through his body and destroyed his kidneys from the inside. Muhammad Asal Jabouri died from kidney failure as a direct result of those injections. He was young. He had a career ahead of him, and he lost everything chasing a shortcut that was never worth it. Number 13's story is one of the longest battles on this entire list, and even after he thought he had won, the fight was not over. Number 13, Raymond Patrick Pierce. Raymond Patrick Pierce competed in both bodybuilding and powerlifting, a testament to his extraordinary physical capabilities. But for years, chronic high blood pressure was quietly damaging his kidneys. By 2019, his kidneys had failed completely. He was placed on dialysis. Then in May 2021, after 2 years on dialysis, Raymond received a kidney transplant, a second chance. But the anti-rejection medication required after a transplant suppresses the immune system completely. In January of 2022, Raymond was diagnosed with Merkel cell carcinoma, a rare and aggressive form of skin cancer. His weakened immune system had no defense against it. Raymond Patrick Pierce passed away on December 19, 2022. He was 50 years old. He survived kidney failure. He survived dialysis. He received a transplant, and cancer took him anyway. Number 14 lived to 76 and the oldest on this list. But the kidneys that ended his life had been fighting a losing battle for years. Number 14, Rick Drayson. Rick Drayson lived one of the most remarkable lives of anyone on this list. Professional bodybuilder, movie stuntman, professional wrestler. Three careers that each demand extraordinary physical ability, and Rick Drayson mastered all three. He was a legendary figure across multiple worlds, the kind of man whose presence filled a room. Rick Drayson passed away at the age of 76 while being treated in hospital for kidney problems. 76 years old, the longest life on this list. But even decades of experience, discipline, and toughness could not protect him from what the sport had done to his body over a lifetime. Number 15 became famous for all the wrong reasons, and his kidneys paid the price for every single one of them. Number 15, Boston Lloyd. Boston Lloyd was not famous for his competition results. He was famous, or perhaps infamous, for his content. Controversial videos documenting extreme steroid use, site injections, synthol, peptides, and every other substance imaginable. He built a following by showing the world exactly what extreme enhancement looks like up close. Boston Lloyd developed stage 5 kidney failure. Stage 5, the final stage, the point at which the kidneys have essentially stopped functioning entirely. He passed away from an aortic dissection, a catastrophic tear in the main artery of the body, triggered by the years of extreme abuse his cardiovascular system had endured. He documented everything. He showed the world every step of the journey, and the journey ended far too soon. And the final name on this list is someone most of you have never heard of, a bodybuilder, a soldier, and a man who gave everything to his country and to this sport. Number 16, Michael Big Kentucky Thayer Michael. Thayer was not chasing fame. He was not chasing an Olympia title or a social media following. Michael was a soldier. He served in the Bosnia War in 1996. He served in the UN mission in Ethiopia in 1999. He put himself in harm's way so that others would not have to. And when he came home, he loved bodybuilding. Not for the spotlight, not for the money, but because he loved it. Michael Big Kentucky Thayer passed away on February 21st, 2021, due to kidney failure. He was loved deeply by everyone in his community. A soldier, a bodybuilder, a man who served others his entire life, and one of 16 names on a list that should never have been this long. 16 names, 16 careers, 16 lives. And one thing every single one of them had in common, a sport that demands everything from the human body and sometimes takes more than it was ever given. These men did not die because they were weak. They died because they pushed harder than the human body was designed to go. If their stories mean anything, let them mean this. Know the cost before you pay it, because some prices cannot be refunded. If this video gave you something, share it with someone in the sport who needs to hear it, and drop in the comments which of these names surprised you the most.